WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. Our appreciation to our friends over at Coppin State. Every week I'm getting together with Juan Dixon, Coach Burrows, and usually some other coaches from Coppin State. And I got to be honest, the second time we've had Shawnita Middleton on from Coppin State, I did not know there was a bowling program. I can't believe that Danny Wiseman didn't, who's been on my show a million times, one of my friends, didn't beat me up about it, because all he would ever tell me, Shawnita, is bowling's a real sport, and I can prove it because of my injuries. And I'm thinking, well, if you just told me there were colleges around here, bowling, I literally did not know. You guys have tournaments and meets. You had a big MEAC conference event for the Northern Division over the weekend. It's great to have you back on. Always appreciate everything you guys are doing over there. But you guys get overshadowed by Dixon and all these billboards and all this basketball nonsense, right?
Thanks, Nestor. Thanks for having me back on. It's not overshadowing. It's just bringing the attention back to Coppin State University. Yes, we do have a bowling team. And, again, yes, bowling is a sport. I mean, when you're bowling three days over the weekend and up to 25 to 30 matches, you can't consider it not being a sport.
Well, I mean, I bowl as a kid. I had never 10-pin bowled till I beat Danny Wiseman. I beat him the first time I rolled against him, and it was kind of like getting a hit off of a Hall of Famer. You're like, you know what? I'm never going to bowl again. But we've done duck pin bowling here for years. We had charity tournaments. We raised a lot of money for Ed Block and for juvenile diabetes over the years. So, obviously, as the weather changes, it's an indoor sport that anybody can do at this point. Tell me about your team, though, and because is it unique that you have a bowling team? I mean, how many schools in Maryland do have bowling teams?
Oh, no, it's not unique. And I have a great team. There are a few schools in Maryland that have bowling. Our neighbors not too far, Morgan, they have a bowling team. You have UMES has a bowling team as well. MEAC schools, Howard has a bowling team. Those are quite a few schools that we just competed against this past weekend.
Well, that's where you measure yourself, right? Like, as much as I talk basketball here and say, well, like, Loyola's playing Towson this week, and all the local schools, it's good that the local schools play each other. It's the way it should be. It saves on budget. I think it creates some rivalry and in whatever sport. But, this was the biggest thing you're going to do, right? I mean, against these teams, these are the teams I always see the basketball team going against in the MEAC.
Yeah, same with us, too. You can pretty much say Morgan's our rival as well. We go back and forth throughout the season competing. We see them at different tournaments as well, but, our goal is to be able to compete against everyone. The top 25 schools that are ranked as far as bowling goes. We'll see some of them coming up this weekend, actually, because we'll be bowling at UMES's tournament.
Tell me how it works with scoring, because, I look and I see, wins and losses that are 900 pins to 700 pins. How does the scoring work? How many frames? Is it team bowling, or do you appoint a bowler? Is it one-on-one? I played high school tennis, and it was very much sort of round robin. You either had doubles or you had singles, and you got points for winning matches. I'm not sure how the scoring works in college bowling.
Well, college bowling, the scoring can work various ways. You have your traditional match, which takes a five-person team. So you put 5 from Coppin against 5 from any other team, and you take the total score from all those bowlers. And that's the traditional way of bowling. Then you have Baker style, which you take one total game, 10 frames, and 5 people bowl those 10 frames. And you just have 2 people bowl each frame.
Hold on a second. I've been doing this a long time. I have never in my life heard of Baker style. The best part of the show now, in the old days, I used to have books behind me and I have to look stuff up. Man, with the internet, all I have to do is put Baker style bowling in, and I'm like, I'm going to learn something here. This is why I have you on, Shawnita. So tell me about Baker style. This is interesting.
Baker, in a regular game, you have 10 frames.
Okay.
And one person would just normally bowl all 10 frames. Baker, you take your 5 people, and each person bowls 2 frames, 1 through 5.
That's why I was asking you. So you don't bowl like a traditional 10 frames. Baker style means it's sort of it's mixed as far as who bowls the actual frames, right?
Right.
It's team bowling, kind of, sort of, right?
Team bowling.
Wow.
5 people collectively gather that one score for that one game.
Dude, let me tell you what. Next time I have Wiseman on and I drop Baker style into the conversation, he'll be like, who you been talking to? You been talking to the coach over at Coppin?
And you let him know. Coach Middleton over Coppin State University.
Shawnita Middleton is our pal over at Coppin State. She's the bowling coach over there. And, of course, Coppin State, we're doing their basketball games, men's and women's. But I tell you what, Ruffin's dropping all the coaches in here. And, you know, as much as like, hey, we'll have the bowling coach on. What can we learn? Well, I learned Baker style is what I learned. Tell me about your team and how you're bowling right now. And I do know you had a big rivalry weekend last weekend, but every weekend you guys are out, and your season sort of stops and then picks up again in February, right?
January, actually.
January, wow, okay.
The end of January, yeah. The girl, my team is great. I love the camaraderie we have, the team bonding we have. We're competing. We are competing at the highest level, and I love it. 2 weekends ago, we finished 4th at the Virginia Union Invitational. This past weekend, in our MEAC North, we beat Howard. We took a couple of losses, but they were close losses, so I'm proud of how they competed, and they fought all the way to the end. Yeah. This weekend coming up, we'll be at UMES, competing against some of the top 25 schools.
And you find the lanes down there in Millsboro, Delaware, and you go after it. You take a corner of the place, or what do you do? How's it work?
We're all across all the lanes. We have the whole house.
Wow, all right. So it's almost like a PBA invitational. I like it. Well, hey, I'm going to send everybody. Tell me where they can follow you. I mean, obviously, CoppinStateSports.com. They can learn a lot about what's going on. I just Googled the Baker system. You got to add that onto the website there for guys like me trying to learn.
I will definitely talk to Ruffin about that.
Shawnita, great having you on. Good luck to you guys over in Delaware this weekend, okay?
Thank you very much, Nestor. You
got it. Coppin State University is our partner here. You can learn more. We are your home for Eagles basketball. We don't have any of the bowling matches on the radio, but you can learn more up at CoppinStateSports.com.